Hey, what's up, Joshua Paul Hudson? And I should be on. How come I can't get on Tucker Carlson? You got Bishop Barrett on there. He's like, well, then Jesus Christ. Here, I'm gonna I've done this before. I haven't done it in a while. I'm probably a little bit rusty. You guys probably having me doing this because I'm like a little bit rusty. The top 31 reasons. Let's see how many reasons I can go through the New Testament piece by piece, just off the top of my head, and dispel it. All right, number one, Simeon. Simeon is the tribe that doesn't get blessed by Moses, but Simeon is the name of the person who is there at the temple waiting for Jesus to fulfill the Mosaic law. Number two, Gospel of Luke, let's stay there. Simeon is at the temple waiting for Jesus to bless him because the Holy Spirit had come down upon Simeon and told Simeon to go there. But Jesus hasn't even been born to die, to be crucified, to be out there, to tell the eat fish with the apostles, to be like, the Holy Spirit's going to come. He hasn't even sent the Holy Spirit. He's not even born yet, but the Holy Spirit, that's the amazing thing about the Holy Spirit. Number three, Jesus is the bloodline of David, even though the prophecy doesn't mean it. It's the stump of the root of Jesse, right? The stump of the root, right? Jesus, David isn't the root of Jesse. I don't know if you guys have children. You had, probably not, because in the Catholic Church you guys don't have sex except for little boys, right? The root is your father, not the other way. The root of Jesse isn't David. So Jesus, even if he was born of Mary and Joseph, and they're both of David, he wouldn't be the root because that goes forward. I don't know if you guys know how time works or how lineage works, or if you've ever had kids, or you guys are baptizing kids, right? So I'm Joshua, right? And my grandmother is named Eleanor. She's the root of me, right? If I had a child, that wouldn't be the root, that would be the branch, right? So the stump of the root of Jesse can't be Jesus Christ, just right there. Right there we can throw out the whole gospel, because that's your proclamation of that he fulfills the prophecies, is that he can be the stump because he's of the bloodline of David, but it's the stump of Jesse, which would be Ruth or Obed or Boaz. That's the root of your family, right? Anyway, I digress. Did I throw out that's the new ominous, dominus, abominus? I gotta get focused. Because you guys, this is really okay. Mary goes over to Elizabeth's house, right? And John the Baptist jumps in the womb and he's like, I'm for Christ. And everybody's praying this prayer, which the reason that you pray 150 prayers on the rosary is because there's 150 psalms, right? And the Catholic Church was we don't want them praying 150 psalms, so they made up the Hail Mary, full of grace, and then they wrote this part in. I don't, maybe they didn't, maybe that really happened. But anyway, the thing about it is okay, so then Jesus is walking, this is a four-parter. We can put it. Jesus is walking down the beach, right? And John looks at him and goes, there's a man I've never even met whose shoes sandals cannot even untie. What do you mean you never even met? I thought you guys were cousins. You never met him. I thought Mary came over and you jumped in the womb and said, Hail Mary, full of grace. But you never met, and the families never met again? How did anybody find out about the prayer to the Hail Mary, full of grace? Must have been in somebody's toast, you know what I'm saying? The other thing about it is all right, they lived up in Galilee, whatever. Galilee's Israel's not very big. It's not very big now. There's probably 1 million people in Israel. Probably a lot smaller than there. You guys never went over Passover together? Or the Christ family never came over and hung out with you guys? You just came over for the Hail Mary, full of grace, and then you guys never saw each other for 30 years? And then the other thing is, John the Baptist jumps in the womb. Your mother wiped your butt for the first time. Your mother kept your first shoe. You think if the Christ came over when they're waiting for the Messiah to come, there's a war going on between Rome and the Hebrews? That's all they're waiting for is the Messiah, and the Messiah family comes over, the Christ family comes over, and you jump in the womb, And she never told John about it. Like, you think she would tell him about that every day? You're special. You want to know why? Because the Christ came over and you jumped in the womb. God has sent you. Never told him one time until he's walking out. There's a guy I never even met. I don't even know him. He's my cousin. But we don't even know each other. Even though, like, we just live across the street from each other. We haven't met for 30 years. All right. Here's another one. The Magi come, right, to Jesus when he's in the crib. And they bring frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Where'd that money go? They brought all these kingly gifts to him. Like, here's some gold, here's some frankincense and myrrh. And there's a big star in the sky. Everybody's like, hey, all the shepherds are like, I mean, which you think would be a clear sign to, like, Herod, if Herod was coming to kill you. There's a big star in the sky. All the shepherds are singing. The wise men come, and Herod asks me, he's like, where's he at? We have no idea. Herod's like, can't believe we can't find him. There's a big star in the sky. They come, but anyway, they come and they give him frankincense, gold, and myrrh, and they give him all these kingly gifts. Where'd that money go? Because why Joseph continue to be a carpenter? You think, like, after he had some frankincense, gold, and myrrh, he'd be like, you want to know what? I'm going to retire. We don't have to do the carpentry business anymore. That's probably the money they used to run off to Egypt to hide from Herod, right? Even though God said, like, isn't that like one of the main decrees? You shall not go off to Egypt. The first thing that the Christ does is like, you want to know what? God can't protect me. I'm going to run off to Egypt. That's the first thing he does? No, actually, it wasn't the first thing. The first thing he does, right, because he's running from Herod after he's born, there's a big star in the sky. The shepherds are, Noel, Noel. They're all singing, like, and everything. Like, he's got this decree out. He's murdering all the children, right? Jesus has to go up to Bethlehem down to Judea because they got the map wrong because there's 2 Bethlehems, right? Right? It's right there in the gospel. It's like, they went up to Bethlehem down to Judea because they got the wrong Bethlehem right when they were sitting there, like, plagiarizing. They were like, oh, let's look at the map. Oh, there's Bethlehem right here. Oh, that's not Bethlehem ever in the prophecy, the root prophecy? Oh, down to Judea. And then they put that part in. But anyway, well, probably because Gabriel didn't have GPS when Gabriel came and was like, hey, man, Father Grace, you need to run away from Herod. Anyway, where were we? Herod. So, right after Jesus is born, the first thing that they do, because they're running from Herod, because Herod's going to kill them, right? Well, first of all, they go down to the census, right? Herod's like, it's like, everybody needs to have a census because I'm killing all the children. And they're like, we have to go. Gabriel's like, hey, why don't you guys go down to the census? So they go down to the census, up to Bethlehem, down to Bethlehem. Oh, wait, that's not, oh, it's David. Oh. So they go down there, right? And they get down there, they go to the census, and then she has the child. Then there's this big star in the sky, and then after the child's born, the first thing that they do, before they have to run off to Egypt because Herod's going to kill them, they go into the temple in Jerusalem where Simeon is, because they have to fulfill the Mosaic law. You think Herod would have if Herod's killing all the children, you think the first place that Herod would be, if the king and the Christ is going to displace me, would be at the temple waiting for the children to come in and cutting off all their heads. Jesus gets through because he's like a Marvel Avenger or something. He's got the ability of invisibility. He just sneaks in. He's like this is the first time that Jesus was going to get stoned. He's like, then he disappeared and he snuck away, right? You think that's where Herod would be? Herod's not very smart. If I was going to, like, if the king of the Israelites was coming and he had to fulfill the Mosaic law, you know where I would be camping out? Right outside the temple where he's got to go. And then when he shows up, I just kill all the children. Not Herod. Herod wasn't thinking. Probably because he was dead. Because you know where I know Domino comes from, right? Everybody's like, well, how do they know when Jesus was born? Here's how they know. Because Jesus gets crucified on a Friday. He has to get crucified on the Friday because he has to be the Passover lamb. What the Passover lamb has to do with the forgiveness of sins, I have no idea. It has nothing to do with the forgiveness of sins. But whatever's. Plus he's born in Capricorn, which is the goat. That's not even the lamb. Dionysus is the lamb, though, but like, let's not get off. So Jesus has to be crucified on a Friday. It's right there in the scriptures. And he's 33 years old. It's right there in the scriptures as well. Pontius Pilate is the one who washed his hands, because when Pontius Pilate washes his hands, he becomes the high priest crucifying Jesus for the atonement of sins to God. Who is above Pontius Pilate? Caesar is above Pontius Pilate. So what you're actually doing as a Christian is you're making Caesar, you're praying to Caesar. You're making Caesar God, because render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're rendering Jesus Christ unto Caesar. Because he belongs to Caesar, Pontius Pilate washes his hands. When Pontius Pilate washes his hands, who's above Pontius Pilate? Caesar. So Caesar's God. It's very well constructed. Very well constructed. But anyway, where were we? See, I get lost because there's like so much. Have I dispelled Christianity yet? You gotta have faith. I forgot where. All right. Oh, ain't no dumb. So, Pontius Pilate dies in 37 AD, or he like goes back to Rome in 36 AD. So, Passover, like Easter's always on a Friday. It's on a lunar cycle, and it can be on 1 of 4 days. It can be on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. The only time that Jesus could have been crucified, when Pontius Pilate was governor of Rome, is in 33 AD. Jesus in the gospel says he's 33 years old. They went back 33 years, and then they said, this is Anno Domini. This is when Jesus was born. That's where they came up with that date. From the gospels, Pontius Pilate, all of it. The only problem is King Herod dies 4 years before that. So because King Herod dies 4 years before that, they're like, oh no, we got a problem now. Now we got to make up Josephus, and we got to make John the Baptist born 6 years before that. The cornerstone that the builders rejected. The builders are the builders of Christianity and all this other stuff. What else we got? I mean, we're going to Transfiguration. Jesus goes up on the mountain. Elijah and Moses there. Moses dies in the desert. In Proverbs, it says, if there's a dead person, that's a demon. So Moses is a demon. Why is there a demon sitting there with Jesus? Is Jesus hanging out? A demon's witnessing to Jesus? Jesus is there, and the crazy guy comes out of the cave, and he goes, well, Legion. First of all, why are the demons named Legion after the Legion Army? But let's not even go there. I only got a couple more minutes. But Jesus says a house divided against itself cannot stand, right? But then he looks at Legion and he goes, pulls them out of Legion and puts them in some swine, and they jump, the swine, the wine that you drink, and they jump in the river. I thought a house divided, isn't that controlling demons? Isn't exorcisms controlling demons? Can I get a ruling on that? Is that control? He's like, I can't control him. So then at the Last Supper, Jesus is sitting there, right? And Judas, he goes, one of you will betray me. He jumps Satan into Judas. Controlling demons. Not only controlling demons, controlling Satan himself. Jumps him in there. Where did Satan come from? At the Last Supper? Was Satan sitting there at the Last Supper? Was Satan in his pocket? Like there's another story like we didn't get in, like one of the, it wasn't in the, it was in somebody's toast, and like Jesus was walking down the road because there's a lot of stuff we don't know, and he's like, oh Satan, here you are, your time hadn't come yet. He puts him in his pocket. He's like, just wait, when we get to the Last Supper, I'm going to jump you into Judas, because no crazy guy came out of like a cave or anything. Jesus just had him. Where'd Jesus get Satan from? He just found him. He's like, Satan's here now. Jumps him into Judas, and Judas goes and betrays him. What else? You want me to continue going on? I can go on forever. I don't even think I don't have enough time, because I can only make 15-minute videos. That's what I got.